What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for tuning in with me. So today we're going to be making a Christmas wreath entirely out of ornaments. This is not some like newfangled idea that I came up with. These have been around for years. I've seen them for years on Pinterest, and you may have seen them as well across various social media platforms. But the reason I wanted to make one is because last year, when my mom and I were at Kohl's picking up an order, right by their pickup station, they had all their Christmas stuff. So we were looking at it, and they had one of these Christmas wreaths made out of ornaments. And we were just talking about it, and we decided to flip it over and check the price. You guys, it was $79.99. The normal asking price, 80 bucks for one of these wreaths, which is just crazy. And it wasn't like a massive, huge wreath or anything. It was just kind of a, you know, it wasn't puny small, but it wasn't massive, that's for sure. And it was 80 bucks. Okay, so I did check their website again this year to see if they still had it, and they do. They have, you know, lots of beautiful wreaths on their website, not to diss Kohl's, but they do have these ornament wreaths, and yes, the original asking price is still $79.99. And yes, you can get Kohl's Bucks if you're a Kohl's member, and get Black Friday deals, get them on sale, get store credit and all that jazz. Yes, you can knock the price down, but still, that's really expensive, especially if you were getting it full asking price. I'm gonna heat up this hot glue gun because I know that we can make this a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable, and get the exact desired result for the color palette that we want. So let's get into it. So I'm going in here with some metallic acrylic paint from Deco Art in the color Shimmering Silver. You can find this at Hobby Lobby for $2.17 a piece. And all I'm going to do is just paint this entire wreath with this Shimmering Silver color. The reason I'm doing this is so if there are any gaps between the ornaments and the wreath form shows through, it should kind of camouflage it and go unnoticed and blend in with the rest of the wreath, giving it a very cohesive look. Something that I think is incredibly important to mention is the fact that you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot use spray paint on styrofoam. The reason for this being is there's a lot of paint thinners, adhesives, and chemicals in spray paint that will actually cause your foam to deteriorate and break down. So what is recommended for painting styrofoam is acrylic paint, and that is why I opted for this Shimmering Silver metallic acrylic paint, because this should be perfectly safe for the styrofoam and give me the desired result that I was looking for. The next thing that I did was I separated all of the tops from the actual ornaments themselves, and I was actually planning on like organizing these by color and size and how I wanted to mix them, but in the end, I just put them all back in their containers and then just worked from them and just randomly ended up throwing them down. So then I started placing them on here, and I was struggling a little bit because it was kind of like trying to make them balance and stand up in time for the glue to dry, which obviously it doesn't take that long with hot glue. But then I quickly realized I could actually stab the ornaments into the actual foam itself, and that's what I did from here on out and made it much easier. I just gave it a little bit of pressure and it punched right in, and the hot glue held it in place, and that's what I did for the rest of the time. Now, I was kind of starting in these clusters, and my thought process here was trying to keep colors and patterns incredibly mixed up. I wasn't really thinking through how it was going to end up turning out in the end, and like, you know, how I was going to connect these and if I was leaving enough space. So honestly, I just did my best as I went, and I think it turned out pretty good, all things considered. So I just started randomly placing these, and it honestly, like I said, it ended up working out really, really well. And I just kind of eyeballed everything that I was doing and just referencing what I was doing on the other side and all of that to try and help me make decisions as I went. Something I would say is that this did help me with my decision-making skills, because the longer I did this project, the more I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to put it here and move on and quit having anxiety about it, because there were a couple of times where I would change something or just think way too hard about it, and honestly, you don't have to think that hard about it. Just make sure your colors, patterns are mixed up enough and you're pretty much good to go. But I didn't give myself a lot of anxiety about it because I do have some colors, patterns touching. I was really concerned about ornaments of the same size touching, and I quickly realized that was ridiculous, and I just continued. So this was honestly a lot of fun, and this took me about 2.5 hours to get all of these put onto this wreath form. I was really surprised when I looked at the clock. I really didn't expect that. And then somewhere in here there was a lunch break. I don't know where that was at, but I did end up taking a lunch break after this, and I was definitely needed that very badly. One last thing I would like to mention is the fact that make sure you have some extra hot glue if you are doing this project. I used an entire packet of hot glue sticks doing this, exactly $3 worth. So if you are going to be doing this ornament wreath, make sure you have some extra hot glue because I ran out after doing this. So you definitely want to make sure you have plenty to get you through. It is the next day. I got all of the ornaments glued on to the actual wreath form, and I realized that I needed some more ornaments. Now, I needed just like really tiny little things to stick in here, so this morning we went to Michael's and I picked up some of these like little foam circles, and some of them are white and some of them are that silver glittery color that is in this wreath, so I'm probably going to try and use those to fill some of the gaps first. And I went ahead and grabbed 2 of them. Now, my original plan was to go with some like little ornaments that they had, but they didn't have a lot of them, and some of the ornaments in the packet weren't the right color, as of where each one of these has 55 pieces, so I should have more than enough for what I need. And I also grabbed some jingle bells just in case. If I don't have enough of these, I have some silver jingle bells that I can tuck in here if I do not have enough of the foam pieces, and I will most likely place all of them and then glue them after they're all placed. So that is what we're going to be working on today. I think I'm just going to go ribbonless with this, but yeah, that's that. So let's go ahead and continue this project. Alright guys, the wreath is done, and here she is in all of her beauty. Would you look at that? And I'm just so happy with the colors. I'm really glad we went to the store and got these little silver balls to put in here because I think they look so pretty. I'm just very happy with this wreath. I think it turned out beautiful. I wasn't sure how it was going to end up, you know, panning out and turning out, but I think it turned out looking really pretty once again. I'm just so pleased and happy with how this turned out. I don't think I'll be adding a ribbon. I might hang it from the back, so I'll probably attach something to the back to hang it, but is that not just the prettiest wreath? I love it. I think it's really pretty. It's very Christmassy, but it's also very wintry, and it's very fun. I just think it has such a festive look to it, and also kind of vintagey, which I'm here for that. I love that. So very happy with this wreath and very happy with how it turned out. Now the question is, how much did this wreath in all of its entirety end up costing? So I jotted it down here on a little piece of cardboard and did some quick math. And I spent $8 on the actual ornaments themselves, as well as an additional $7.51 on the little silver balls that we got today to complete this wreath. We spent $3 in glue, as well as $3 for the actual wreath form itself, and then $2.17 for the paint to paint the wreath form. That comes out to a grand total of $23.76. I know, crazy. So you can definitely get an $80 quality wreath for under $80, well under $30, that's for sure. And even the wreaths that I have seen, like this one that we made today, I usually see those ones going for $40 to $50, kind of like on the lower end of things, and I don't see them going much cheaper than that. So you definitely can create one of these for well under $35, well actually under $25. And so I think it turned out looking really nice, and I think it was well worth the time and effort to put in to create this. Thank you so much for tuning in with me and creating alongside me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you're inspired to make your very own wreath with your favorite colors and your favorite ornaments and all of that jazz. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.